and Ciclon doesn't have the scratch.
I mean, I can throw in 20 gold.
I can throw in 1.
Are you all really going to go back over there to that fat pig and beg for my job back?
I mean, we could find a job
That's
to
up
do.
to you.
Out
I don't
the
think you
plains
should
somewhere.
do it.
There's lots of work to be had.
If you want money, why not talk to your hookup Lady Ligris? But she's got something for you to do.
Barbaric has an idea. Let's take the magic whatever who's it's that she got from Aunt Nancy, find somebody who's willing to buy it, take 100 gold to buy the diamond, and split the rest.
It can only be opened by her touch.
Doesn't matter. Somebody will want it. We'll find somebody who collects these things. We're in Sigil, for God's sake.
Shake my head. Not an option.
And I'm with Ciclon on this one.
Yeah, me too.
I'll tell you guys what. You find the other 80, I'll toss in 20.
Again, I mean, we can go to Lady Ligris. I have no problem working for her. Sure, there's a job we can get for 100 gold. I mean, that's probably a day's work for if she has something good.
What is Kelian's opinion on that suggestion?
Kelian's okay with it. He's not a fan of it, but he'll go along with it if the party wants it.
Ciclon isn't a fan of it either. Because the last time she had us do something, it was kill a person and oh wait, no, I don't remember that!
You don't remember it?
So this is a great idea, it sounds like.
Oh, fuck me, okay.
I just want to say, like, I'd do some work to maybe make a little bit of money, but the last time I did that, we ended up making slavery bird cages.
Yeah. That happened.
If we do go to Lady Ligris, we need to make sure we are impeccable about whatever it is we do.
Wait, what was your problem last time? It seemed to, from what
Yeah,
you guys have told me, it seemed to work out okay, right?
Yeah, we did
Well,
everything you asked us to.
There was the whole issue of the killing of the kid and the thing.
Wait,
and
killing-
Wait, the
kid,
kid
what?
died?
I don't
kid
remember
died?
part of this. Riot.
It's not important, really.
A child
but just
died?
make
Wait,
sure
no,
we
no,
do
no,
a
no,
better
no,
job.
no, 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 time the fuck out.
McDohl's been waiting to do this for
Calm
4
down. We're in
weeks.
the middle of a restaurant.
A child died.
I specifically put good berries in his
was-
mouth before I jumped up through the portal.
He was a little slave sex boy. No one cares about him.
He had a fucking name for starters.
Did he? Not important.
I don't remember.
Ciclon stands up and walks right the fuck out of the restaurant.
Clone ciphers on out of the room.
Yeah.
So Clone wants just to, since he's leaving the scene, he wants to.
He is just fucking hot right now. He is not he's not going anywhere in particular. He is fucking hot right now.
So he wants to pay to heal Dolphinder, but he doesn't want to take a job from Lady Ligris right now.
Well, no. I mean, it's not that. Oh, by the way, my prayer bead recharged from yesterday.
Oh, good.
No, he's right now. He needs to blow. He's got steam that he needs blowing off right now because that shit just lit a fucking fuse right now.
So Clone
And
storms out of the restaurant.
Well, I guess that's the end of this meeting.
Well, for the record, anytime you tell me stories that happen after I lost my memory, deaths, put that up near the top.
Could have told us at the time that happened.
Barbaric says,
I gotta go too.
Where does Riot have to go?
She's got to go rehearse with her new band.
Do you tell them anything about your new band, or you just leave it at that?
Yeah, I'll tell them I've got a new band, and I'll say, Kelian, come meet me tonight. I'll buy you a drink.
All right, where?
It's called the Shattered Steed. It's out in the Guildhall Ward. We give them directions.
Is the new band
All
good?
right.
Come and see.
Alright.
So what is decided about Dolphinder? Who's going to try to get what money together?
I mean,
Once Ciclon cools off, he would eventually come back to the group and say,
We're all gone by that point.
Yeah, by the time he comes back
Serenity
in,
there's a pitcher of meat here. There's a bottomless pitcher of meat on this table. Serenity is not on.
once Clone leaves, Riot and Barbaric abandon the rest of you as well. Barbara gets back to work, and Riot goes off to start rehearsing.
It sounds like I'm probably going to talk to Lady Lagris then.
Okay.
See if she
I'll
has
come with you.
something. All right.
And then Ciclon
Wait
goes
for
back to the
Ciclon
restaurant and
and
he's
gets-
like, "Where'd everyone go?"
Well, I figure we can wait for Ciclon if he really wants to come.
Does Ciclon want to go?
Eventually, once he cools off, and if he does see Serenity and Kelian, he'll take a very deep breath, look at the two of them with very much not happiness, and then go along with this.
Okay.
But Ciclon is not happy about the fact that a child got killed.
And what's Mahogany up to?
Mahogany thinks that it's time to go teach them lessons in carpentry
Going to the gymnasium?
at the gymnasium.
Okay. Let's start with
Important
Mahogany,
thing is
then.
not to think about what you're working on.
Exactly.
Going there is easy enough to get a classroom reserved. It's not going to happen for today, but for tomorrow, as you're going through it. And Ronath, the real Mani, that you might remember from the first or second session, as you're going through the process of reserving this room for a carpentry class, he kind of asks you, in a hushed tone, so it can't be overheard. So, this cult business, where do you stand on that?
Which cult?
You haven't heard.
Sorry, I've been dealing with a lot of cults lately.
I'll be right back again.
So he says you haven't heard. You haven't been in Sigil for a while then.
Not for a month. You talking about the slavery cult?
He shakes his head. He points over across the pools of the gymnasium to a group of monks standing on the other side of the gymnasium, running through a kata of some kind. And he tells you that they're members of a cult called the Cult of the Jailer. And they came into Sigil a generation ago, 20 years, maybe a little more. And they found a lot of support within the Transcendent Order. A lot of ciphers fell in with this cult and vice versa. And for a while, the two were kind of synonymous in the minds of most of Sigil. And that ended really, really badly, as most of the members at the time, people of this religious order, vanished overnight. And the rumor, of course, is that they were mazed. And now that this cult is seeing somewhat of a resurgence in Sigil, and there's murmurs that the ciphers are supporting them. And
How do we know that they were mazed? They could just be off doing whatever they need to be doing.
And he draws your attention to a symbol. One of these monks is wearing a string of prayer beads, and in the center of it is a gray wooden medallion that is a stylized version of the Lady of Pain. And he says, the tenet of this cult is that each plane is a prison, and that in Sigil, the jailer is the Lady of Pain. So you can see why the rumors are that they were mazed.
That doesn't seem like a very wise set of prayer beads to be carrying.
And
Why did they catch on so well with us?
I would have to assume the tremendous physical demands of their order. And he kind of shows you the kata they're going through. Very physically demanding. A lot of monks flock to the cause. He doesn't really agree with their ideology, which is that by understanding the prison in which one finds oneself, and in understanding the mind of the jailer that keeps them there, brings them closer to understanding their purpose within it, which jives with some attitudes amongst the ciphers.
Is it just namers joining them, or have any factors joined?
And he doesn't seem to know. But there's something... He tells you, he says, so far, nobody high up. But he answers, he seems very troubled when he gives you that answer.
Mahogany shrugs, and he goes, I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I'm sure anybody who joins is meant to join.
And he leaves the subject at that, then. He seems to kind of approve of your stance on it. But he stops just shy of advising you to stay away from them. You have to remember that Ronath has been at this job for more than a century. So unlike...
So he was there the last time this happened.
Exactly. Unlike many of the other ciphers around, he was actually here when they swept through. And he tells you that the first time they came to Sigil was about 60 or 70 years ago. And things didn't quite come to a head. No major practitioners vanished. But at that same time, when this ideology came into Sigil, a lot of ciphers flocked to it.
Well, Mahogany's curious now, so he walks over and he says, okay, so what's your deal then?
Walks over to who? The monks?
The person, the monks.
Okay. And he's an older gentleman. A Githzerai. And he tells his students to continue working. Takes you aside. And he expresses appreciation that you've shown interest in the cult of the jailer. And he lays it out for you. He tells you Sigil is a prison. And the jailer is... And at this, he holds the wooden medallion. None other than the Lady of Pain. In understanding her connection to Sigil, we understand our place in Sigil.
Couldn't you just understand Sigil itself?
And at that, he kind of laughs. And says, if anybody understands Sigil itself, surely it would be her.
It seems to me that you have this the wrong way around. Once you understand your own place within Sigil, you'll understand Sigil.
So what do you understand about Sigil, he asks.
And Mahogany says, I understand that carrying around a string of prayer beads with the Lady of Pain on it is a bad way to go about. Seems like a good way to get yourself in a maze.
And he says, a maze is simply another layer of the prison. If they exist at all. Personally, I believe that all of Sigil is a maze, and we are all trapped within it.
Well, I just left the other day, like...
Oh, sure, the portals come in and the portals go out.
And...
No, that's all he says.
And Mahogany claps on my back, he says, well, good luck with that, then. And he walks out of the gymnasium.
Okay. But you have your space reserved in the gymnasium for a carpentry class to pass on your measure nunts, cut once techniques.
Oh, I'm not going to be passing any techniques. I'm going to be allowing everyone else to find their own techniques.
Gotcha.
My techniques will only work for me. Like, surely that makes sense.
Riot.
Mm-hmm.
Make a performance check at disadvantage.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Ooh.
What's well, my performance is super high right now, so that's, I think it's going to turn into a 15.
15?
Yeah, because my proficiency went up, so still trying to get my character sheet up. It's being real slow, but yeah. No, sorry. That's only a 13.
13. Okay. Very, very difficult. You and Tasbit have gotten to the point where you can hear the ghost just fine. And you and Tasbit spent all day yesterday putting together this multi-layered music, and it's incredibly challenging. Tasbit, in his very kind of exacting mind, he takes his part of it very easily. And you were thinking, if I have anybody to work on this, I'm glad it was a Modron at least. But you made some good progress.
Okay.
Around midday, a man walks into the bar and just nods once to the proprietor, to the barrier, and you see that they recognize each other. He's tall and very... Actually, let me pull up my physical description of him. I don't want to just say this off the cuff. I think I actually wrote what he looks like. He's tall, but he's very thin and slight of face. And he wears a black cloak. And at his side is hanging what looks like a farmer's scythe, but much smaller. It looks like it's just meant to be a physical symbol, not actually... He's not actually walking in with his giant two-handed sickle. And he's very clearly a dust man.
Yeah, I got that already.
And he orders a drink. And he sits and listens to the rehearsing. And you can tell just by looking at him that he's hearing everything. And he's watching you guys with rapt attention.
The next time we take a break, I'm gonna walk over to him.
And he greets you and offers you a seat at his table.
So much obliged. Say, enjoying the show?
Enjoyment is not the word that I would use, but I'm intrigued.
I say, and what is it about our band that intrigues you the most?
And he motions to the two ghosts. He just points them out.
I said, a savvy audience, then.
And as
not everyone here who can see the rest of our little quartet.
And that he says, surely not. It takes someone with skilled eyes. And as he's moving, underneath his cloak, you could hear bones rattling together. He asks you how long you need with these wayward spirits.
And I say, I think we should have our act together by tomorrow, 2 days at the latest. I think we'll be able to ready for a proper performance.
He says, I feel a great sadness then for you and your companion. And he points to Tasbit, who has the yaff pipes bolted to his face. Yeah, he says, I feel a great sadness for you and your friends.
Oh?
He says,
we love performing.
He says, I've been tasked with bringing these wayward souls to true death. And I mean to see this through.
How do you need them?
Death is patient. And that's all the answer he gives.
Huh. Well, if you come by in first performance, I'll see that you get an excellent seat.
He says, you don't mind if I watch you rehearse then?
It's a free bar.
And at that he just lifts his glass and sees you off.
All right.
So, going to Lady Ligris.
Okay, Burkard, regarding that, I had an idea while everyone else is doing other things.
Uh-oh, okay.
I'm actually going to break off on the other two and say, keep me posted on what what harebrained scheme Lady Ligris has for you. I'll be heading to the Great Bazaar.
You're going to go to the bazaar. To what end?
Yeah. I'm gonna meet up with Happy and say I got to come up with some scratch fairly quickly, and so I think the I think the in-depths could use a little bit of entertainment, with all the serious going on. So stage a series of exhibitions.
I mean, she's not going anywhere. Maybe getting a little razor vine on her, but not going anywhere.
So you're going to put together some exhibition matches.
Yeah.
And Happy is delighted to hear it. Go ahead and make me 3 performance checks.
Okay.
At advantage, and just note the results for now.
Okay, sure thing.
Kelian and Serenity, you present to Lady Lyris's house, and of course you're asked by her little Beatisu manservant to come around back. Kelian, you're expecting to be turned away. You're expecting her to not see you. But to your surprise, she invites you in.
Alright.
Like Darkwood, she makes you wait. And like Darkwood, she doesn't seem to be in a fantastic mood. But she comes in, and again, you see that she's...
makes 3 of us.
She's dressed for the occasion. And before even greeting you, and with no friendliness at all on her face, she says, "My dear Kelian, perhaps you misunderstand the nature of our relationship. I ask for you. You do not ask for me." And she doesn't regard Serenity at all.
Fair, my lady. And surely we would not disturb you if we didn't... if we weren't in such a position.
And what position are you in? Tell me your problems, Kelian, that I may solve them for you.
How much should Kelian say? Kelian will say that they're looking for jobs. If she has any jobs that his talents would be him and his companion's talents would be suited for a sufficient payday.
Give me 1 second. And
I have no idea if she knows about his kit being turned into a restaurant, if he's been fired from the
do you explain all that to
records.
her?
No,
Okay.
he's not bringing that up.
She says, "Kelian, if I had any work that is to your suitable and very particular set of skills, surely I would have sent Tenthoth to find you."
Well, funny thing about that, and when she says that, he goes into the explanation of doesn't have a home right now, and there's a restaurant where his Kip used to be.
And she listens very politely until the explanation is over.
Yeah.
To which she reiterates, "I don't need to know where your Kip is to find you. So you come to me with a beggar's cup in your hand, not particularly smiled upon in your faction, is it?"
Not just for me.
And why, Kelian, do you find yourself in such desperate need of money? Do you let that silence hang in the air? at all?
Yeah, sure.
Make a, believe it's a wisdom saving throw. Let me double check.
Oh, okay.
Tech thoughts, yo.
Yeah, wisdom saving throw.
17.
17. I don't know if that passes or not. I'll figure it out. Give me 1 second.
She's going to know that you get tail between your legs whether you like it or not.
Well, I mean, we request an audience. She sort of knows that already.
17, I'm going to say passes.
All
But
right.
you feel, when you don't answer her right away, you feel her in your mind, and you shake your head and push her out. And you see a smile cross her face. And she says, "You're in trouble, but you don't want me to know why." She turns to Serenity. Says, perhaps you'll be more forthcoming. Why does Kelian bring you to my house, hat in hand?
We need money. A friend of ours got petrified and we need to fix it.
She asks how much you need.
I believe the gem is 100 gold. Is that right?
That's what Elsie
Kelian
Cloak told
nods.
you.
Yeah.
And who is this friend? Why is it so important that you reverse her petrification?
Well, I personally feel responsible because she was adventuring with me when she got petrified.
And you, Kelian, do you share this guilt?
Kelian nods. Am I gonna have to roll a bluff check on that?
She can poke inside your head right now.
No, he pushed her out. She's gone out of the head. But you're telling her you do feel guilty, but you don't actually feel guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a deception check.
Alright.
You've got to beat a. I should probably just leave the book open because I'm gonna have to do a couple more rolls here.
Because I figure it's probably odd for anyone to be like, yeah, no, I feel guilty about our friend being petrified.
Got to beat a.
They know Kelian.
DC is 16 on this.
Alright. 24. Rolling where it counts, apparently.
Kelian's good at lying.
Very nice.
She says, "I don't have work for you to do. If I did, I would have summoned you. And I don't share this uncharacteristic guilt you have. And quite frankly, Kelian, if this is the sort of emotion that governs your actions, perhaps it's best that we sever our relationship here." Looking at Serenity, you would know as well the kind of work that I've been requesting is not not exactly the field where guilt is a blessing.
My lady, if that is your decision, then that is your decision. But bear in mind, people like me don't come along very easily or very cheap. And while I'm sure you can find some, they will not, they almost assuredly, I can't even say this, almost assuredly be not as successful as me and my companions.
Serenity, make a wisdom saving throw.
Yep.
Again, she patiently waits for you to explain. And then she bids you be cautious. Because she thinks you feel much, much too highly of yourself.
That's 19.
19. And you feel Ligris in your head as well. fishing around for more information. And you feel her there and you push her out.
Sorry, I'll do our best to just sort of pretend like it happened.
I wish you and your friend the best of luck. And then she stands.
Kelian stands too.
Yeah. One question actually. Would you know anyone who would have work for us? And I'm sorry if I'm presuming much to ask that. Just thought it wouldn't hurt.
And you could tell by the look on her face that she doesn't want you talking to her. But she says, considering your and Kelian's expertise, perhaps you can find the money you need somewhere in the hive. I'm sure there's someone with too fat a purse that no one will miss.
Trey will do her best not to show what she's thinking in response to that.
Good thing you made that detect thoughts saving throw.
Anything else for Lady Ligris?
It's a shame the business has to end this way. This business relationship.
And she shows you.
Kelian, yeah. Kelian gets out.
Cool, now Kelian has lost 2 jobs today.
Nice! Making all kinds of friends.
Kelian was actually going to say that as soon as there was plenty of distance. Awesome! It's 2 jobs now that are gone.
Go 3 for 3 tomorrow? Sounds like
Yeah.
a great plan.
Brick.
Yeah.
Something that the character would know. How much would I normally make if I guarded a caravan? Through a reasonably expeditious. Just basically, if I don't want to spend a week off Sigil, how much money would I make as a caravan guard?
About 2 gold pieces a day. Yeah, any kind of honest work is probably not going to fill your coffers quickly enough.
Is there any kind of work?
What's that?
Even man whore? Even being a man whore?
You do have experience.
You do. Well, okay.
Oh boy.
Let's deal with this before we go back to Riot. So Kelian is going to man-whore himself.
Maybe.
Wow.
The question is he also going to rob people? Is your goal to go out and find somebody who looks affluent and rob them, or are you simply going to exchange money for happy ending?
Yeah, no, he'll rob. Man whore and rob.
Do you tell Serenity that you're going to do this?
Yeah.
What exactly do you say?
Exactly like that, man whore and rob. No. He'll explain that, he'll go to the hive, everyone, there's a certain kind of clientele that love a good Aasimar. And rob them blind. If
Serenity
that's
just
how
sort
we
of
want the money.
sighs and puts her hand in her head. Well, I guess I could go and see if there are any caravans that are hiring guards, but it's not going to take. I mean, it'd be a month before I had half the money.
Yeah, that's.
Like I said, I don't.
This
think
should be
she's-
fixed sooner rather than later.
Well, the statue isn't going anywhere. It's maybe getting some razor vine, but it's not going anywhere. At any rate, I've got 20 that I can donate. How much do you have right now?
I'm living out of an inn. I need everything I can get right now.
Okay, I'll go talk to Mahogany. Mahogany tends to have money.
Riot.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'll be right back again.
Over the course of the next day or so,
Okay.
you're flagged down by one of the members of the anarchist cell that you're backing.
Oh, Oh, right. Yeah, this stuff.
And they heard that you were back in town, and they wait for a time when they can speak with you alone.
Okay. Yeah, I'll duck out of the bar for a second. Go into a back alley.
The job you were backing were looking for uncatalogued portals inside the prison.
Mhm.
The faction headquarters of the Mercy Killers. Most of the portals beneath the prison go to the plane of Acheron, which is the Mercy Killers' headquarters out on the plains. Especially to the city of Vorkahan. Vorkahan is called the Metal City. But several of these portals open into other lower planes, especially into Beator, Carcerai, and Pandemonium. The hard labor sentences that they've been doling out are carried out on Carcerai. Carcerai is a plane that is known to be notoriously difficult to get out of once you're in. They're not quite deep enough to know the purpose of the Beator or Pandemonium portals. Noblemen, prisoners of means or who have political connections who are useful in that light, they often find themselves impressed into servitude inside the Metal City instead of doing hard labor. And some of these sentences learn are being commuted if the prisoner offers large enough bribes or choice information. So from what you learn is that the Mercy Killers are not keeping up their end of the bargain, 10 hard years of labor for everybody. It seems that if you have the means or you have the connections, you can wiggle your way out of that, as long as you can make yourself valuable to the Mercy Killers. One plane in particular you learn of, or one portal, I'm sorry, in particular you learn of, is known as kind of an open secret amongst some of the men in the Mercy Killers. The portal leads to Bolkadar's Rift, which is a huge cleft in one of the cubes on Acheron, a cube that's constantly warred over by Orcish war tribes. And the Rift is home to a sprawling pleasure camp that some on-duty Mercy Killers, those guys who are working, say, they have a 2-week tour in the prison where they're not allowed to leave the premises, will pop through these portals and use Bolkadar's Rift as a brothel. Rumor has it, the interesting bit of this is that Factal Nylesia does not know of this portal's existence. But your anarchists have learned about it.
Let me ask the anarchists something.
Sure.
So this pleasure palace, who stocked that? Who's working it?
They haven't been through. They haven't gone through
Okay.
to check it out. But it's known as kind of an open secret, but only among male members of the faction.
Okay.
So, even though Nylesia actually was born and raised inside of the prison, but because this particular portal is only whispered about, it's kind of on the hush-hush, it's entirely possible that she grew up never knowing it existed. One of the anarchists you talk to, one of the people in the cell, finds that very hard to believe that anything happens in the portal without Nylesia knowing about it. But that's the rumor, is that this portal is safe to use because the highest up doesn't know about it.
Gotcha. I'll tell them there's two, based on the report they give me, there's two things that I would be very, very eager to learn, if they can. And I'm willing to pay for this information later. I don't have anything right now, but I'll support any expedition they put on to find it.
Well, this is all still being covered by what you gave them. You gave them quite a large amount of seed income to use.
Okay.
So,
I want hard evidence of any individual nameable nobleman whose sentence has been commuted. I want to be able to prove just one.
Okay.
The second thing is I want to know who are the horrors in this pleasure palace. Who are these Mercy Killers going through and relieving themselves on?
And none of your guys have been through yet to see firsthand, but what they hear is that they're orcs.
Okay.
Because it's an orc-dominated cube. And He imagines these mercy killers have got to be really, really desperate to want to lay with an orc, but there it is.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll tell them anything more that they can find out from me about those two angles in particular. I'd be very grateful.
Do you want them to actually go through the portal to Acheron and check out the rift?
Last resort, yeah.
Okay. All right, then. Does anybody have any other business over the next few days in Sigil that you want to take care of?
I invited Kelian to watch us rehearse, and I meant for that to happen.
Okay.
I would like to talk to Kelian.
Kelian, you're having a bad day. Do you take up Riot's invitation to watch her rehearse with her new ghost companions?
He's got nothing better to do at this time right now, so yeah.
Okay.
It's free.
So by the time Kelian shows up, the Dustman has already had his drink and is left for the day.
Yeah.
But Kelian comes and watches the rehearsal.
Do I see the ghosts?
Make a charisma check.
I can do that. Just straight up charisma, right?
Yep.
Did Riot ever tell him the best way to see the ghosts?
No, she hasn't told anybody anything.
Okay, then
about her
make that
plan
check at
8.
disadvantage. It's not going to matter because that's a
No.
5, but
Yeah.
you know what? 8's not going to do it anyway. No, you don't. It's Riot and Tasbit doing a duet, and you know that they're better than this.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely something missing with his performance, and you're wondering if Riot was driven insane by the Beastlands.
And when I see Kelian come in, I'll shout out, what's the guy's name? I wrote it down. Hey, Philly Willy.
Philly will.
Yeah.
And he's
I
like,
point to Kelian. Cover that man's drinks, it's on me. Put it on my tab.
so, and Philly will tells you that you don't have a tab. And
Kelian
Start
likes
one,
free
damn it.
booze. Kelian likes free booze, so today's a good day to be boozing.
do you pay for a drink for Kelian?
Yeah.
Okay, then you actually have to give Philly Will the gold. He's not going to start a tab for somebody he doesn't know, and who hasn't brought any business to his place yet.
Alright.
It's
How
not
much is his
expensive,
drink?
just a couple of coppers.
Okay.
2 coppers for... He doesn't have access to the really expensive bub as it is. It's just
That's fine.
some good old swill.
I got coppers for days.
So you have a
but
mug
yeah,
of the swill, Kelian?
Yeah. And once we're at a
Awesome.
good stopping point in the rehearsal, I'm gonna go join him.
Okay.
Duet, huh?
Quartet, actually. But that's kind of the problem.
Quartet.
Yeah, the next time we play, try, and Riot tries to think about the best way to explain this. Try listening to what's not there. Hearing what you don't hear.
Kelian is looking at Riot like she has 1,000 heads. Try
Anyway,
hearing what's not there.
It's not important. We'll have it all worked out by the time we perform for real. Not why I called you here.
All right. Hey, how do you
Kelian-
feel about tearing down the takers?
Kelian, that is what I live for. And it's my fun, and it's my fond hope, and the reason I called you here is that you'll join me.
Deal.
You've been wronged.
What'd you have in
I don't-
mind?
I don't think you're such a good fit for the Takers. Don't think you ever were. You got a personal philosophy, and that's fine. I respect that. But the Takers are not backing you up. And when you got a giant organization like that, all this huge institution backed by Darkwood, and they're against you, What can any one man do? Am I right? What have you been able to do?
Oh boy.
I think this was meant to happen, Kelian. I think that you have a higher purpose, and I think I know what it is.
And that is.
Helping me take down the takers.
Oh yeah, no, I'm totally in.
Are you guys making any effort to not be overheard by Philly Will or somebody else in the...
I think Kelian's a little drunk, so we probably couldn't even if we wanted to.
Okay.
What do you think of a revolution, Kelian? What do you say?
Yeah, revolution. That sounds good.
And Ross
Kelian takes another drink.
I thought you'd say that. You and me, Kelian, you know what we are now?
Hmm.
We're a cell.
Kelian sort of thinks about it and goes, "Yeah, a cell." Takes another drink.
And Riot lifts a glass and says, "To the revolution."
It's the revolution.
So does Riot have a plan?
Riot's plan was just to induct Kelian into the Anarchists.
So let's...
Which apparently just happened.
Is that Kelian's intent to
No.
change factions?
No, not officially,
Okay.
but he's kind of drunk and is all for destroying the take at this very moment in time. So, the enemy of my enemy.
As far as Riot's concerned, then, Kelian has been swayed over to the Anarchists.
Oh yeah.
But Kelian, you haven't actually lost your fated status yet.
No,
Okay.
but anything that destroys one Darkwood right now would be awesome.
So is that the scene, or
Yeah, that was all.
That was it.
That was all I wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't get a very concrete plan hammered into place, but you do feel better about yourself.
Yeah, that's good.
What other business is going down over the
I
next...
have my I have my 3 performance rolls that you asked me for earlier.
What was the lowest one?
The lowest one was an 18. I rolled pretty damn well for those. I rolled a 21, an 18, and a 24.
21 and
At
18
20 on that.
and a 24.
Yeah, that last one was an at 20 roll.
Hold on, just 1 second.
Probably some of our best fighting since getting back together. Even more than, actually.
So, the performances are great. My next question is, were you trying to skim off the action? By which I mean, were you trying to stage these as real fights, make bets on them, and then manipulate the fight so the betting came out in your favor? Or were you just staging the performance?
I'm not staging performance, and basically whatever take that Happy and I are able to take, do we split down the middle?
You spend a good
tips.
3 days in the bazaar. Doing these fights, and Happy introduces you to some of his in-depth companions, some of which you knew from performing with him in the past. And it's just as you suggested. The entertainment is kind of just what the in-depth needs, something to kind of blow off some steam. But there's no preconception of these being real fights. These are just for performance's sake.
Yeah.
At the end of 3 days, you and Happy have made 99 pieces of gold. So your take of that would be 49 gold and 5 silver.
Okay.
You could have made 10 times that if you'd done some shady betting.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Not even
Eldrit's not in this party.
not even for Dolphinder?
Well,
Nope, it's
Kelian
not. It's
is
over.
there are principles that can't
Kelian
be
is
compromised.
man-whoring himself for Thunder, okay? I think you could have made a few side bets. All I'm saying.
About
Speaking
the
of
man
man
whoring.
whoring,
Before we get to the man-whoring,
Okay.
Kelian wants to meet with Darkwood again.
Wants to meet with
The
Darkwood
purpose is to sign over his cap.
again. And you are told he doesn't grant an audience. When you tell the clerk why you want to see him, you're asked to wait. And then after about 15 minutes, you're brought with a fresh piece of the parchment for you to sign, so he can return it.
No, I'm only going to sign it in his presence.
And the clerk is very disappointed that you've wasted his time. But no, Darkwood does not grant an audience.
Then I'm not signing it.
And that's the end of that.
All right. Then yeah, it is the end of that.
So, where in Sigil is this man-whore plot going to take place?
God, I haven't given this much thought.
I like that we found what Kelian's good at. You know, everybody has their place.
yeah.
For those of you who weren't here for that session, like Kelian put a lot of practice and work into this, so he's pretty good at it.
This is his most perfect form.
The lower ward, the hive area.
Well, lower ward of the hive.
Yeah.
Which
Anyway,
one?
that area
Yeah,
between.
Which
The border.
So you want to stay on the border here, like this side of the ditch?
Yeah.
Okay. Make me. Let me think for a second. Maybe just a straight charisma check.
Nice.
That is a 21.
What kind of mark are you looking for?
Really affluent. The more inebriated, the better.
Okay.
To make the mark that much easier. If given a priority, the easier of a mark.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, how much risk is Kelian willing to put himself in? Because the more affluent marks are also going to look more dangerous.
Let's go full 10.
Full 10.
Kelian's confidence is really low right now. So
The
10,
first,
10 sounds about good.
the first night you go out there, you don't... I mean, you see some marks that... They look like adventurers. They might be worth trying at, but... You really want to hold out for just the one, the perfect one. And eventually you think you find her.
Okay.
She comes stumbling out of the Temple of Dionysus.
Okay.
She is obese. Very, very round. And it looks like she's been in her cups for days. Give me a second, because I actually have to open up one of my monster companions here.
That's not very nice.
That's
I'm
excessive.
sorry, she's lovely.
I'm sure her legendary actions are very nice.
I got a joke for you. What do you call a fat dustman?
What?
Morbidly obese.
Oh.
That's a good. I mean,
well done, Nick.
what can you even say to that?
Well done, Nick. That's what you could say.
Okay. Kelian, make me a religion check.
Okay.
It's okay, your last character didn't have religion either.
It's fine. Oh my god. And the session from the old Flumph that I watched actually
Okay.
showed Eric
17.
passing a religion check. That was amazing.
17.
Dionysus is a god associated with hedonism in Arborea.
Fantastic.
And The woman you pick out belongs to a group that's fresh in from Arborea, a very devout follower of Dionysus, which means periodically she gives herself over to just these raving orgies of decadence. And you're thinking, if I can squeezle my way into one of these parties and get close to her, she's obviously filthy rich. I could walk out.
Squeezle is the best word.
Squeezle is exactly the word that we're going for here. So,
All right.
we're going to take let's say like a 10-minute break. I want you to think everybody's going to get to take a break except for Kelian, okay? Kelian, I want you to put together the scene for us. How you're going to squeezle your way into this woman's party, and then what you're going to do once you're there. Her kip is in a noble district in the ladies' ward, and she has one of these decadent parties. She has friends coming in from Arborea, and there will be a lot of drink and a lot of sex. And it's in a very affluent area of the ladies' ward.
All right.
So we're going to take about 10 minutes. Let me go ahead and put Elizabeth on screen here. There she is. Boop. And we will reconvene at about 5:15. Okay, guys?